Yeah. Yeah. Good afternoon. So before I start, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear, whether the screen is visible or not? Yes.
Yes.
So in the last session, in the last demo session, right, I was briefing you about what is big data, why Hadoop drawbacks with the current databases, Hadoop advantages, and Hadoop and Spark job market, right? Yes. Currently, we have got databases and specialized databases. They are used for databases used for online transactional processing. Specialized databases, they are used for data warehouse like OLAP operations, like specialized databases like Teradata, Netezza, Vertica. They are used for data warehouse like analytical processing, online analytical processing, and databases for online transactional processing. But these databases, specialized databases, they can handle data up to some extent, and that too they can handle structured data. But for handling unstructured or semi-structured data, so here, see, big data, right? K- KBs of data, MBs of data, GBs of data, terabytes of data, right? Terabytes of data, petabytes of data, petabytes, exabytes, zettabytes, sottabytes, petabytes of data, right? Yes. So behind GB, TB, T after TB, we have got petabytes. Now today, if you see data is generated in petabytes, right? If you see any application, they are generating data in petabytes like YouTube, Facebook, Google, Gmail. And if you talk about the Flipkart, Amazon, all they're generating data in petabytes. Petabytes. Beyond petabytes, we have got exabytes, zettabytes, sottabytes, petabytes, right? Yes. So yes, so we have got as a solution to all the storage level problems and processing level problems, we have got a framework called Hadoop. Generally, any technology meant for either for storage or processing, but Hadoop is meant for both storage and processing. Hadoop is meant for both storage and processing. So for storage, right, we using HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. For processing. We're not using current like Java or any other technologies, but we are going with a parallel execution model called as MapReduce, and execution MapReduce Spark are used. So both means for storage and processing. And for storage, we use a file system, because I'm saying like there are some drawbacks with the databases. Despite of the databases, it is not going with any database. It's going with a file system called Hadoop Distributed File System for processing MapReduce. You may get one query when we have got processing technologies and we have got storage technologies, like databases like Oracle, MySQL, DB2, SQL Server, all this they are used for storing data. And for processing, we have got processing technologies, Java, .NET, all this. When Hadoop is in the market, when Hadoop is performing both storage and processing, what is the necessary of the other storage and processing technologies, right? Clearly understand, right? Hadoop is meant for what? Batch applications. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. Hadoop is meant for batch applications. Yeah, there are two types of applications. There are two types of applications. Online applications and batch applications. So if you are making an online transaction, if you are making one online transaction, means if we have one transaction, for one transaction, Hadoop is not required. You can go with the databases, right? What is the difference between online and batch applications? Online applications, user interactive applications. Here, user gives the input. For making online transaction, user has to give the input. Example. Making an online transaction, making an online payment. User compulsory required. User has to give the input. Here, user gives the input. Making an online payment. For example, examples of online application, making a online payment, booking a movie ticket. User has to give the input here, but for batch application, user non-interactive applications, Hadoop applications are user non-interactive application, user non-interactive applications. User non-interactive application. User non-interactive applications. Here, user is nowhere required. User is nowhere required. See, most of this banking application or financial applications, most of these banking applications or financial applications or batch applications. Yes. User non-interactive applications, here user is nowhere required. Example of batch applications. Example of batch applications, right? For example, a railway ticketing.
Sir, one question.
Yes.
Is Hadoop a data warehouse similar to data warehouse?
So yes. So here, yeah. So here, one second. ETL, right? ELT. Sorry.
ELT, yeah.
Yeah. And generally we follow ETL, right? Informatica, all this talent that you are used ETL, but Hadoop follows ELT. Here extracting, transformation, loading, right? Here extracting, loading, next transformation. See, means Hadoop can maintain Hadoop unlimited data storage is possible, right? Huge data storage is possible. Means extracting from different sources, you are going to extract and load it into Hadoop HDFS. Extract from different sources and load it into Hadoop distributed file system. After that, based on some transformations, business logics, you are going to process it.
So similar to Snowflake also. Snowflake also similarly do ELT.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, sir. That one thing.
Okay.
In processing, the map reduce is very oldest, right? In Hadoop. So
That's why Spark is mostly.
a lot of things came after map reduce, PIC and other things.
So as
So
so
map reduce is
1 second. So just I'll be giving knowledge on this MapReduce, but Apache Pig, everything we are not discussing.
Mhm.
So here, just if you see the course content, right? HDFS will be discussing. MapReduce, just basics, what you need to know, because everything Scoop knowledge will be discussing on Scoop, Yarn, NoSQL database, HBase, and Hive. These are the components from Hadoop, but mostly our concentration will be on PySpark, Spark with Python only, right? You can see all this PySpark. Okay, fine. So just Hive, Scoop, Yarn, HDFS. These are the components, right? All these are MapReduce, Pig, everything, they are outdated. That's why, right? For currently for processing, we are going for Spark, storage, HDFS. But if you talk about, we'll be using a Scoop and a Hive mostly, right? But for both, in internally MapReduce execution is going to happen. Huh? So batch application, user non-interactive applications. Yes. For example, generating trade statement, credit card statements for millions of customers. For millions of customers. So here user is nowhere required. Generating phone bill statements, right? For millions of customers, right? Here user is nowhere required. Next, I was just briefing you about drawbacks with the current databases. Drawbacks with the current databases. Mainly think limited storage in GBs or in TBs. In most of the databases, no parallel processing. If volume increases, speed decreases. I was giving an example, right? There are some query to query, 3 different tables, sales 1, sales 2, sales 3. Total amount from the sales 1, sales 2, and sales 3. That's got 10 records, 1 lakh records, 1 crore records. As query to query, as the volume increasing, speed decreases, right? So this one execute faster as compared with this, as compared to this. Okay. First one executes faster, next second, next. Even if complexity increases, speed decreases, I said, right? Total amount, average amount, standard deviation of amount from sales. The two-step process, first sum has to be calculated, next average, right? So as compared to the first one, second one taking more time, this is taking lot of internal processing. Databases can handle only structured data. The major drawback with the databases, they can handle only structured data. They cannot handle unstructured or semi-structured, but Hadoop can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. Okay. Hadoop advantages. Before I go with the Hadoop advantages, right, you need to know something about its architectural part. Yes. Hadoop doesn't follow. Hadoop Hadoop doesn't follow client server architecture. It follows a master slave architecture. Single master and multiple slave. Master slave architecture. Hadoop cluster. If you say Hadoop cluster, right? Group of nodes. Group of nodes connected in a network. There are two types of nodes. There are two types of nodes. Master node, slave node. Master node, here we say like Hadoop terminology like name node, the service, slave node, within that we see like data node. So it follows master slave. It's not following client server, right? Yes, just observe here. Single master and multiple slaves. Single master and multiple slaves. S1, S2, so on, Sn, right? This is the master node. These are the slave nodes. Data nodes. Master node or name node. So here, if you take any file like f1.txt, a file in here, it's think that here each system has got 1 TB, 1 TB storage, 1 TB storage, 1 TB storage. If file like 2 TB file, assume it's a 2 TB file. It cannot fit into any of the system, right? So generally in Hadoop, the file will be divided into smaller parts. In Hadoop, the file is divided into smaller parts. The smaller parts we call like blocks. Each part is stored across the system. Each part is stored across this system. Each part is stored across the. So here two things you can: distributed storage and parallel processing. Data is distributed across multiple systems. Data is processed by multiple systems parallelly, right? Two things. Data distributed across multiple systems and data is processed by multiple systems parallelly. So that is the advantage, right? So any huge bigger data sets can fit into this and they are going to be processed. Parallel processing is going to happen, right? Next. So this master node will assign the task to the slaves, like T1 task, T2 task, and T3 task. T1 task to S1, T2 task to S2, T3 task to S3. The assigned task has to be, the tasks which are assigned has to be executed by the slaves S1, S2, and S3. So if you see that master node and slave node, master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities. Master node responsibilities, right? Yes. Yeah. First one, task assignment. See here, if you see the diagram, if you see the previous diagram, right? Yes. Everything taken care by data node. Data is stored by the slaves and data processed by the slaves. Then everything done by the slaves, then what the master node does, right? Master node, task assignment, assigning tasks to the slaves, load balancing, balancing the load equally to all the systems, slave systems, and fault tolerance, right? Fault tolerance. Fault tolerance. Fault tolerance means when three tasks are executed by the three systems S1, S2, S3, suddenly if any one system S2 gets down, then data is lost and the task gets failed. So in such case, a master node has the capability to assign the same task to any of the other available slaves, right? Load, that is what the process we call like fault tolerance. When multiple tasks executed by multiple slaves, if any system goes down, then the task of which will be assigned to the other slave. And health monitoring. Before assigning tasks to a particular slave, master node will maintain the entire health status of each and every node. Slave node responsibilities. Slave node responsibilities, right? Yes. Mm. Storing data and crossing data. Storing data and secondly, like crossing data. Storing and processing data. Yes. So now coming back to this, right? Yes. Hadoop advantages, right? Hadoop advantages. Uh, Unlimited data storage is possible. Unlimited data storage is possible in Hadoop because of a feature, right? Because of a feature. Horizontally unlimited scalability, right? Horizontally unlimited scalability. Hmm. Horizontally unlimited number of slaves can be added. So today, like for example, if you're running a business with less number of slaves, you got a master and slaves. S1, S2, so on up to Sn, right? S1, S2 up to so on Sn. Yes.
Sir, here AWS or VPNs are used here.
Yes, we have got services of those, right? Yeah. So here, yeah, I'll come back to that.
Okay.
So here, if you're running with less number of slaves, right? Your business has increased, your branches have increased, your customers have increased, your data has increased. Still, you cannot go with the same number of slaves. Means horizontally, you can keep on increasing your slaves. Horizontally, you can keep on increasing your slaves, right? Horizontally, unlimited number of slaves can be added. Horizontal unlimited scalability, right? So, and very high speed processing because of parallel processing. Because of parallel processing. Very high speed processing, parallel processing, and can have parallel processing, right? Yes. Can handle all varieties of data, structured, unstructured, and semi-structured, right? So open source, no licensing required. Most of the products, most of the Hadoop and Spark products, right? They are from Apache, right? We are going to download from Apache mirror site. Yes, commodity hardware. It doesn't mean that you need to have very highly configured systems. It can be installed, it can be executed on any normal systems also, right? Yes. Hadoop advantages mainly unlimited data storage, very high speed processing, can handle all varieties of data. In the yesterday session, I was just showing you that the processing speed of Hadoop. Yahoo has taken a table of 100 TB consisting of 1024 columns, sorting based on 16 columns. The task is sorting based on 16 columns. Sorting based on 16 columns. What is the time taken by different databases? Oracle has taken 3.5 days to process. MySQL has taken nearly 6 days to process. Teradata has taken 4.5 hours, right? And Netija has taken just 3 hours. These two are specialized databases used for data warehouse purpose. And Hadoop has just taken 3.4 minutes. Latest version has taken just 1.2 minutes, right? So as I said, right, Hadoop, the speed of Hadoop is very fast as compared with other things. But when we say about PySpark, right, Spark, already Hadoop has got very high speed, but Spark, that is PySpark, is 100 times faster than Hadoop. Okay. Not only processing point of view, storage point of view also, right? Storage point of view, right? Why databases like why databases like Oracle cannot support unlimited storage, unlimited or huge storage. Even if you talk about this, right? Even this databases has got can go with multiple slaves or systems, right? Yes, databases, but there is some limit on this databases and max limit on number of slaves. Max limit on number of slaves. Databases, right? Oracle can go with the maximum 256. It can go max with 256, right? Slaves are CPUs. Nodes are CPUs. MySQL, right? MySQL can go with maximum, it can go with 54. But MySQL Express. MySQL Express, right? It can go with maximum 256. Can go with maximum 256 nodes. And even like SQL Server can go with maximum 256 nodes. And DB2 also it can go with max of 256. So all this Oracle, right? Maximum with 256. Once the 256 once the 256 nodes gets filled, it cannot support data further, right? So the performance of the system also will degrade, right? Sometimes it won't even start the totally if it is filled, right? But we have got specialized databases. We have got specialized database used for data warehouse purpose, right? Yes, like Teradata. Teradata, right? It can go maximum with 512, right? Can go with maximum for 512 nodes, but eh, even Netija also it can go with Netija also can go with the maximum to 512 nodes. There's one more that is one more database used for data warehouse purpose, Vertica. 512 nodes, right? Yes. But currently Teradata and Netija, they are supporting 1024, right? 1024 nodes. This is also supporting nearly 1024 nodes. Yes. But still, we cannot say it's unlimited storage, right? 256 or 512 or 1024. Cannot say like unlimited storage. but there is no limit. But there is no limit on the number of slaves. On the number of slaves that Hadoop can have. But there is no limit on the number of slaves that Hadoop can have, right? Unlimited scalability, horizontally unlimited scalability. So here, Yahoo when first time implemented Hadoop, Yahoo when first time implemented, Yahoo when first time implemented Hadoop, when first time implemented Hadoop went with 4,000 slaves, 4,000 slaves per pro. Currently Yahoo going with 12,000 slaves for storing its data. Yes. Facebook, right? Facebook when first time implemented Hadoop. When first time implemented Hadoop went with 8,000 slaves. 8,000 slaves. Currently, it is going with currently it's going with 42,000 slaves. So Hadoop is proven in the market storage point of view and processing point of view, right? So ETL kinds of projects, everything they are migrating into Hadoop and Spark environment, right? Yes. So maximum like 30 to 70% my concentration will be on PySpark. Nearly 30% I'll be discussing on Hadoop and Hadoop components, right? Means the time whatever I'm going to spend, 70% of the time will be spent for PySpark. Nearly 30% will be spending on Hadoop. Observe here, right? Hadoop ecosystem components. Hadoop ecosystem components. Ecosystem components. First one, we have got many components used for storing and processing, right? HDFS. HDFS is meant for storage. It is meant for storage, right? Yes. Secondly, like MapReduce. MapReduce is a parallel execution model. It is well designed, but it is got outdated as of now. This MapReduce Apache, there are many components, right? After MapReduce also they were introduced, but many of these Hadoop components got outdated. But there are some components which are mostly used, right? Like Scoop for import-export operations, Hive HQL operations, right? So they'll be discussing on those. So MapReduce also meant for processing, right? Yes. Apache Hive. This Apache Hive is meant for processing. It is also meant for processing. Yes. But here, it's a kind of data warehouse kind of an environment, right? Data warehouse kind of environment within the Hadoop framework. Here we use HQL language. HQL, like high query language, which is similar to ESQL. Once again, can anyone please confirm whether my voice is clear? Is my voice clear to all?
Yes, sir.
Certainly.
Okay, HQL, which is similar to ESQL, right? Yes. Almost it performs all that operations of. So it can also process not only structured data, HQL, right? Apart from that, like XML data, JSON data, URL data, URL weblog data, right? Yes, all this it is going to process. Apart from this, we have got one more component called scoop, SQL and Hadoop. The first two characters of SQL, last three characters of Hadoop, combine it together before it forms a scoop. It is used for import or export operations. Importing data, okay, import or export. Import or export operations, right? For importing data from databases to Hadoop and also exporting data from Hadoop to databases after processing, right? The result. Yes. And during import operations from databases to bringing data into Hadoop environment, you can perform many operations like merging, grouping, sorting. Yes. And apart from this, discussing a NoSQL database, NoSQL, right? The NoSQL random access.
But both are SQLs, sir. Hive and Scoop.
What is it?
Hive and Scoop, both are SQLs, right?
See, Scoop is not a kind of, it is only for importing the data or exporting data only. Hive is a kind of data warehouse kind of an environment. It's like we can perform some kind of querying. We can create tables and we perform, means the data, making the data structured, and that after making the data structured, right? After making the data structured, right? We can create tables, internal, external tables, and that we can perform any kind of querying. And also we can create different types of tables, internal tables, external tables, partition tables. And we have got concept of performance tuning mechanism, how to improve the query performance, right? Like we have got partitioning, static partitioning, dynamic partitioning, multi-column partitioning, indexing, bucketing, right? We have got different things in Hive. So here, just as compared with SQL, what is other things means it can also process unstructured data, like even like JSON data, XML data, URL data, weblog data. Yes, all this it can process. Yes. And NoSQL, right? Difference between SQL and NoSQL. NoSQL means not only SQL, not only SQL. These days, NoSQL databases are mostly preferred as compared with SQL databases. SQL databases, right? Structured query language. So from the first record to last record, same number of fields has to be maintained. Schema has to be maintained. But here, in the case of NoSQL, schema-less behavior. Schema-less behavior, right? Yes. 1 second. Sorry, yeah, NoSQL database is right for random access and schemaless behavior, right? Schemaless means I was saying in SQL, first record to last record, same number of fields has to be maintained. But in NoSQL, my first record with the 3 fields, second record with the 5 fields, third record with 7 fields, fourth record with 10 fields, means record to record different number of fields, columns can be maintained. Yes. So, but in the case of SQL, for each and every time, if you want to add a new column, right, you need to alter the schema. Yes, here it's schemaless behavior, random access, flexible schema. And here as part of this course, I'll be discussing about NoSQL database like HBase. HBase is one of the NoSQL database. Apart from this, we'll be discussing about Yarn, yet another resource negotiator, right? Yarn, right? Yarn architecture, Yarn components, Yarn processing, how this processing of Yarn. Previously, there were some drawbacks, but from Hadoop 2 version onwards, everything got rectified. So there were some architectural changes also I'll be discussing here in this Yarn. And also like Zookeeper for controlling and coordinating all the Hadoop components, right? For giving connections, all this. And apart from this, uh, Flume Kafka, Flume and Kafka, right? Streaming technologies. Flume Kafka. Kafka is for advanced streaming, right? Of streaming data for capturing live streaming data. Yes. Live streaming data. Streaming data means data which keeps on incrementing, data which keeps on incrementing, data which keeps on generating. Such kind of data we call it like streaming data, which keeps on generating, right? Yes. So for that, we have got Flume and Kafka for capturing such kind of data and again dumping the data into HDFS. And mainly we will be discussing on this PySpark. PySpark, right? Yes, Spark with Python. Spark is an execution model implemented using Python language. Here, like we'll be discussing on Spark core programming, Spark SQL programming, Spark SQL, Spark streaming, like micro batching. For every 10 seconds, I want updates. Spark streaming, right? Micro batching, we say. And Spark MLlib. Spark MLlib, machine learning library, right? Yes. This is what we'll be discussing, right? PySpark, Flume, Kafka, Yarn, HBase, NoSQL, Hive, MapReduce, and HDFS. So yesterday I was just briefing you about the introductory part of this, just having giving some introduction on this PySpark, right? Very high speed processing, very high speed processing. Yes. Right. So I was just briefing you about this Apache Spark, right? What is Apache Spark? Why PySpark? Need for PySpark, real life usage and PySpark job market, right? Yes. So I was saying right just before, very high speed processing. We are going to perform in memory computation here. In memory computation means storing within the memory level, processing within the memory level, right? Which has got very high speed as compared with other things. I was saying already Hadoop has got very high speed as compared to the Hadoop. We see like PySpark is 100 times faster, right? As compared to that. Yes. In memory computation. So yeah. So Apache Spark. So it's a given by Apache Software Foundation. So open source distributed cluster computing framework is introduced by Apache Software. It's a engine for big data analysis, processing, and computation, right? So it's why PySpark means, as I was saying, it is a Python API for using Spark. So it's an open source cluster computing systems which is used for big data solutions, right? It's designed for fast computation. It's one of the demanding tool among the data engineers to work with bigger data sets. It's mainly used for creating data pipelines, like ingesting data into the database, running ML algorithms, working with graphs and data streams. Yes, need for PySpark means huge amount of data is getting generated. The huge data contains some useful patterns, unknown corrections, market trends, customer preferences, hidden patterns, and other useful informations, right? So all this from this we need to extract that valuable information from this raw data, right? So we require some efficient tools, some efficient and flexible tools to crack this big data and gaining some kind of benefit from this. So PySpark is such a kind, right? So Apache Software Foundation has combined both Python and Spark, which is the very efficient way for the world of big data, right? So it came up with a tool called PySpark. Just I was briefing you about the real life usage, mostly used in the commercial applications, commercial sector, for real-time processing, for bank and financial systems, for retrieving customer social media information, analyzing and making right decisions from that, and credit risk assessments in healthcare, in predicting the patient's health status, and entertainment industry, right? As I was saying, like it's going towards this online streaming. So popular online stream Netflix, which uses PySpark for this personalized online movies or web series. It's going to process more than 450 billion events per day. And for this, it's used for trade and e-commerce, right? The Flipkart, Amazon, all these, they use PySpark for advertising. People who are purchasing a product will also like the other product, right? In this way, they say, right? And also it provides some enhanced customer experience in even in tourism industry, right? By comparing millions of travelers. Okay. So if we can see in that job market, jobs for PySpark, right? So even the salary packages for PySpark are very huge as compared with other technologies. You can see 1.5 times more than the other technologies, right? Even in the same way, you need to have the command on this PySpark, right? So here we see that course content in brief. I'll be discussing it is providing many built-in functionalities and some integrations we'll be discussing. So initially I'll be discussing on Hadoop. Should have some knowledge on this HDFS, scoop, import export operations, NoSQL database, and some Flume data. That is streaming data and technologies, Flume and Kafka. Apart from that, I'll go with PySpark, RTD computations, basic RTD and schema RTDs, RTDs persistence, grouping segregations, various keys, various transformations, and series of various PySpark SQL data frame. Yes. Struct type, struct field, select, collect with column renamed, order by, join, group by, map, flat map for each. PySpark SQL functions, aggregate functions, window functions, date and timestamp functions, JSON functions, read and write JSON file, PySpark built-in functions, various built-in functions of this PySpark, and PySpark external sources, deployment modes, PySpark applications, stages and tasks, building and driver and executor, narrow transformation and wide transformations, building Spark applications, and deployment, right? Deployment Spark applications to cluster and tuning, performance tuning, PySpark streaming concepts, integration with Kafka and PySpark ML. People who doesn't have, so the coding of it, everything goes in Python, right? The entire coding goes in Python and in this Linux environment. So you need to have knowledge on this both, right? So also provide knowledge on this entire Python core in advanced, right? Yes. So it's as I was saying, it's a package. We have got a package, right? So where you see Hadoop, but PySpark is our more concentration, which is mostly used, which has got great boom. It will be the basic, means you'll be having given knowledge on this Linux that is required for understanding the HDFS and Python. So this everything, right? You will be having this Hadoop PySpark Linux. It's a weekend. It will be only on weekends, Saturday and Sunday, from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. Sunday also same timing, right? 2 hours on Saturday, 2 hours on Sunday. It goes nearly like 12 weekends. 12 weekends, right? Nearly like 2.5 to 3 months. And Python, this package, this entire package is right 15,000, which includes Hadoop, PySpark, Linux, and Python. If you already have knowledge on Python, and if you want only Hadoop, PySpark, Linux, so 12K. But if anyone has enrolled for Python, and if you already enrolled and if you're updating with Python, so if you're already done with some payment, right, exclude that payment from this. Excluding that payment from this, okay, you can pay the remaining payment for this Hadoop, PySpark, and Linux. So 12 weekends patch. And Python, if anyone need, it will be given freely, right? Like 2 months Python course on core and advanced Python programming, because you should have good command on this Python, right? For right everything that the entire goes in Python, right? You need to have knowledge on this Python, where in the Python, like object-oriented, procedural-oriented, scripting and modular programming, everything will be discussed in this Python. For this Python, Monday to Friday, any of my batch you can attend. Any of my batch, right? Yes. There is a batch at 9 p.m. going on, right? Just started like 3-4 days back. And there is a new batch at 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. There are Python batches on the 15th April. Both are starting on 15th April at 8 a.m. and 7 p.m. So if anyone, okay, as I said, daily you'll be getting the video of each and everything, right? You'll be getting the recorded video session of this all, Hadoop, PySpark, Python, all this. Notes, soft copy of the notes, classroom notes, task 2, and also a WhatsApp group for technical discussions, right? So just I was briefing you about Hadoop, the features, means it follows the master slave. So even if you see the Python course content, you can go through Python basics, Python operations, operators, IDEs, flow control, looping statements, strings, collections, Python lists, Python tuples, Python sets, Python dictionary, right? And functions in Python, modules in Python, packages, errors and exception, file handling, object-oriented programming concept, regular expressions, database connectivity, Python datetime, OS module, advanced concepts, GUI programming, iterators, generators, closures, decorators, web scraping, working with CSV, XML files, Excel workbook, data analytics, introduction to data science. Okay. Introduction to data science, Python pandas, Python numpy, Python matplotlib. I'm going to discuss different models related to some models related to data science, some models related to big data, some related to graphics, and how to create our own modules, right? Yes. This is that. So from the next Saturday, we'll be going with they're going with the things, right? Yes. I'll be starting how exactly the data storage processing happens. Next Saturday and Sunday, you'll be having 2 hours, 2 hours. Yes, we'll be starting with the technicals of this, right? So we'll be starting with Hadoop. So you'll be starting Hadoop, and the Python will be in the weekdays you'll be attending. So for the first 1 month, we'll be spending on this Hadoop. So meanwhile, you'll be updating with Python. So you will be having the basic knowledge by the time we go with PySpark. Okay. Fine. Linux, everything goes in Linux, right? Any flavor you can use. Red Hat, Mostly we use with CentOS, Ubuntu. Yes, don't worry about the software. I'll be providing you the software to your Google Drives. Like it will be of 5 GB. When you extract it, it will be like 8 GB, right? Yes. Any other queries, right? Anyone?
So can you attend parallel Hadoop and PySpark? Is it can I attend, sir?
Yes, yes. Parallel, you can attend Hadoop in the weekends, Saturdays, Sundays, the afternoons. Python, you can attend the weekdays, Monday to Friday. Morning
No,
and
no,
evening batches are available.
no. PySpark, sir. PySpark. If any batch starts PySpark and Hadoop, can I attend both parallel, sir?
Yeah, PySpark, there is a batch started just 2 weeks ago. So if you want to attend Hadoop, PySpark, and Python also parallel, you can attend. So you can do one thing. You can follow the videos once you got enrolled, right? The PySpark last 2 weeks and this yesterday's video will be provided. You can go through by the next Saturday. You can just
Yes.
go through all the last 2 weeks videos, introductory first days, introductory video, and last week, right? If you can go through by the next week, you can go with Hadoop, PySpark, and Python parallel. Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, I have some knowledge on PySpark, so I both I can attend. I meant right, sir.
Yes, you
Both
can.
Hadoop and PySpark.
Yes, if
Hadoop and PySpark.
you can manage, right?
Yes,
2:30
sir. Yes, sir.
2:30 to 4:30 you will have Hadoop. Immediately after 4:30 to 6:30 you will have means 2:30 to 6:30 you need to attend because at 4:30 there will be a PySpark. Immediately after your class, there is a PySpark class I'm dealing with.
Okay.
For the people who already are completed Hadoop, right? For them, PySpark
Yes.
started. Means if you want to go parallelly, then go parallel to complete it faster. Right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Last week, sir, PySpark has started.
Last
Last week.
week, before last week, 2 weeks
Okay.
I'm saying, right? And go through that basics, you can understand.
Yes. Okay.
Already you are saying you have got knowledge, right? So it will be a basic RTDs, those things.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I have knowledge.
So will
Okay,
be
sir.
our concentration will be more on data frames, right? RTDs, they have basic entities. Okay, fine.
Yes, sir. Yes. Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
From next week onwards, we'll be going with the Hadoop technicals, right? And if you doesn't have knowledge, if you go with Python also, you can go with Python in the weekdays. If you prefer
So,
with
this is Maruti Prasad. I also want to do the same thing, sir, like parallelly Hadoop, PySpark actually, and Python.
you go okay.
So,
So if you
we,
want to go with PySpark, right? Okay, if you have got some basic knowledge, I can recommend you.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah. I have knowledge with Hadoop and also, sir, actually PySpark.
Okay, you can do one thing, right? You get enrolled and they'll be forwarding the videos to your Google Drives. To your
Okay,
Google Drives, they'll forward the PySpark videos. Clear line statement, like clearly it was, you can understand everything point to point. And notes also I'll be forwarding you. Once you get enrolled, right?
okay,
The online team will forward your mail IDs so that I'll be
okay.
forwarding the notes, right? Clear notes of it, videos, everything. So PySpark and Hadoop, you can attend by from the next Saturday, right? Parallelly.
Today you have the PySpark batch at 4:30, sir.
Yeah, there is a batch at 4:30. So if you do, if you because it's a paid link, right? Already the demos have completed for that price.
Okay.
So if you got enrolled,
When this PySpark bar that started actually?
one 2 weeks ago, right? This is the third week it's going. Hello, basics only. Practical started yesterday only. Before that, the last 2 weeks, there were some theoreticals, right? Or RTDs concepts and why PySpark. All these things were discussed. Yesterday itself, the practicals were started. Hello.
Oh,
So if you go with the enrolling process, they'll provide that links everything right within by 4 it starts at 4:20. 4:20 to start today, right? After half an hour. So just otherwise, if you want to attend today, you can just uh, online team, right? You can see that payment process and procedures the online team has forwarded, right? The payment details. You can see that Hadoop, Python, PySpark, the course content, and the demo link. that course content link and the videos, right? If anyone missed yesterday video, right, you can see the video of yesterday, demo videos, and the payment process and the procedure. And those people who are asking for PySpark, if you want to attend today's, you can just discuss with this 7212427. Okay, you can contact this number, right? She will be guiding you. Those who wants to attend the PySpark parallel immediately, right? You can contact that detail. They'll be forwarding the link, the Google Drive videos, everything, right? They'll be helping you. Yes. Still any other, right? So what I recommend, if you have got knowledge of some basic, you can attend. Otherwise, you can go through all the videos this 4-5 days, next Saturday and Sunday if you want to attend. But directly, if it doesn't have any basic knowledge of this, immediately going into this today's class. Okay.
Okay,
Fine.
sir. Then we can go through some videos by Spark and then we can attend the next
All
team.
the videos, right? What all the
Yes.
videos happened like last 2 weeks and yesterday's, right? You can go through so that clearly you can understand today's session. Again, something you may feel something, right? So that's
Yes, sir.
then clearly everything you can understand everything. If you have got any queries, you can ask in the all the sessions will be interactive sessions. At any point, you can unmute and you can ask the queries. And also, I said there will be a WhatsApp group. If you have got any queries, if you have anything, right, you can discuss in the WhatsApp group, right? Yes.
Then we can go through whatever completed PySpark session, then we can attend next week, sir. Is it?
Okay.
Am I, sir?
So yes, so you can see that people, whenever you do that payment process, right? Whenever you do the payment process, don't forget to share the screenshot of your payment to that mail ID which is provided, durgasoftonlinetraining@gmail.com, right? Then only they'll be forwarding you the link, right? See the numbers, the 3 numbers are provided. The first number only I said that I have provided it. The 3 numbers are provided. You can call on these 3 numbers. The first number they'll be taking care about all these things, right? Fine. Okay.
Sir, one question.
Yeah.
I joined this Python 9 p.m. batch, sir, and so can I continue this PySpark?
Yes, yes. PySpark 9 p.m. Okay, you can continue. No problem, right?
Yeah. So by that time, the PySpark will pick up. I can understand something about the Python, right?
So you want to go Hadoop and PySpark parallelly or separate one after the other?
One after other, right? This same batch, continuing the same batch in the 230.
Okay, that's fine. Some people will ask that someone wants parallel, you said, who are they?
Okay. So only PySpark will be teached.
No, Hadoop will be teached, PySpark will be teached.
Okay.
Python you can attend already. If you're attending, that's fine.
Yeah.
So the fee structure is 15,000. The whatever you have paid for Python, excluding that, the remaining you can pay and you can attend it.
Okay.
Yes, fine.
Sir, in second 15,000 and 12,000, right, sir? That 12,000 fee structure like big data analytics, Hadoop, PySpark. Will you cover Linux? Am I right, sir?
Yes, Linux also will be telling that.
Okay.
Excluding only Python data. 12,000
Okay.
package excluding Python, remaining including Linux.
Okay. Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Got it, sir. Thank you.
Fine. Okay.
Sir, this is Maruti Prasad. I also wanted to attend parallelly. But can I attend today's PySpark session to see if I'm able to catch up or not?
You have any basic knowledge of it, PySpark?
Yeah, little bit, but not much actually. I mean, that's what I don't know myself, sir. I know some PySpark, but I don't know if it's in depth or not. It's been for a while, but I know Hadoop a lot actually.
So the links will be forwarded by this team, right? You can call on that number, right?
Okay, I'll call that number and I'll get today's link and attend the class and then decide and make the payment, right?
What I recommend is basics if you go through, right? Because
Yeah.
whatever I discussed theory for all the time discussing practical yesterday and today, right?
Yeah,
Whatever the theory, you need to have that knowledge of it. What
Yeah.
it is, how they're computed, transformations, actions, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, you can check with that. Okay, not a problem. You can check with that. You can attend the session, right? Yes. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Okay. So, yes. Who is the other person, right, who wants to attend parallelly Hadoop and PySpark? Naga?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir,
Yes, sir.
but
Myself, sir. Yes, sir.
So,
I'm
okay.
also planning, sir, parallel both Hadoop and PySpark. So
Okay.
first, I will go through whatever this week previous sessions, and the next week I'll have attend PySpark.
Okay, okay. That's what, okay, that's fine, right? But if you got already some basic knowledge, it's recommended.
Yes, sir.
Otherwise,
Yes, sir.
you can go through the fundamentals, everything of this PySpark, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. Okay.
Yeah, I have knowledge on more basic, sir. I
Okay.
have knowledge some deep, sir, deeply, sir, PySpark.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
So that is the reason, sir.
Okay. Fine.
And Hadoop also I have deep, sir, some knowledge.
Okay. Fine. So, okay, we'll continue from the next week, right? You can attend that. People who wants to attend parallelly Hadoop and PySpark, you can attend parallelly. Otherwise, after Hadoop, meanwhile, your Hadoop and Python parallelly, people who are attending, you can attend Hadoop and Python parallelly. After that, whenever the new PySpark batch starts, next PySpark batch, you can attend for that next, right? Fine. Meanwhile, you can go with Hadoop and Python. Fine.
This
Okay.
batch will continue with Hadoop and PySpark, right?
Yes, you can go parallelly, I'm saying. Otherwise, one after other you can go. Otherwise, both parallel you can go, right?
Sir, this is Maruti Prasad. Last question, sir. Sir,
Yes.
usually they say Databricks, right? So
Okay.
behind Databricks, is it PySpark, sir, actually, or
See,
something else?
I'll also discuss on this, right? How to go with ADB,
No, what I'm asking, the technology behind Databricks, is it PySpark or is it Spark or
PySpark only.
PySpark? Okay. Sir. Okay.
Okay, fine. So, okay, I'm stopping for now. We'll continue, right? Next
Sir,
week.
cloud, you also PySpark application you also showing, sir. Which
Yes,
cloud, sir?
yes, yes. I'll be showing you on AWS and also on Azure, right?
Okay. Okay, sir.
Okay. Next week the link will be changing, so everyone has to get enrolled for attending next class of 2:30 p.m. next, right? So
Okay.
those who got enrolled will be getting the link to your mail IDs, and you'll be getting the softwares to your mail, Google Drives, videos to your Google Drives. A WhatsApp group will be created, right? Fine. Okay. So yes, thank you all for your time. Thank you. Next Saturday, right?
Thank you, sir. Thank you.